This is the Shiawassee Gunner, and today I have a little different update here. I'm starting a new AR build. It's a Stag Arms lower receiver that I picked up from a gun shop locally, and nothing special. It's just a regular old AR receiver. There has been some changes where I live for the hunting jurisdiction of Lower Michigan over the past few years, and you're allowed to use a straight-walled cartridge, which was only a shotgun hunting zone for quite a while. And so you can use some straight-walled cartridges, be it a lever action or a bolt action or whatever you have. But there it actually does, allow the use in an AR platform. So I've actually kind of tossed around the idea in the past. I was really kind of set on getting maybe a 44 mag lever action or something like that, for some nice closer range. I don't do much more than, most of the deer I see aren't more than about 150 yards away anyways, so I'm not doing any long range shooting. So two of the most popular calibers I can think of that meet the criteria are the 450 Bushmaster and the 50 Beowulf. Now, with the 450 Bushmaster, you're going to get a little bit more speed, you're going to get a little bit longer longer ranges with a little bit more accuracy. My brother has a 450 Bushmaster Ruger American that they just put out a couple months ago actually. He got 2 deer with it this fall, so the cartridge works great. Now, like I said, I've tossed around the idea. I think for all intents and purposes, probably the better cartridge to go with is the 450 Bushmaster. But that being said, I've done some research and tried looking for different parts and trying to source to try to get a build going, and I really can't find a lot of in-stock parts availability for 450 Bushmaster. They share some of the same parts for the same platform, like the upper receiver needs to have an enlarged ejection port, and that's the biggest one that they share. But the 50 Beowulf, you can readily find uppers available. I know Alexander Arms sells some uppers that kind of pricey for what you get, I think, because they're kind of plain Jane, but they say that they're supposed to work pretty good. Radical Firearms puts out some stuff. I know they have some waiting lists on their times. They have actually some pretty affordable, around $600 completed uppers with a nice rail. That look nice, not just like the plain A2 foregrip style with an A2 sight post. I don't really care to have that for a hunting rifle. But yeah, so I'm kind of leaning the way of the 50 Beowulf. There's some other reasons with my Desert Eagle that I have that's in 50 Action Express. It uses the same bullets. To a degree, I think there's some differences in bullet design, but effectively you could use them, which not really a big thing, but just kind of an added benefit there. It seems like the 50 Beowulf is a little bit more available as far as just the parts. I look online, like I said, there's a couple manufacturers that make some completed uppers, and you figure if the 450 Bushmaster is real popular that there'd be more stuff made, but I can't find them in stock anywhere. So I'll probably go the route of the 50 Beowulf. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm making a mistake. I know that the 50's probably not going to go, it's going to have more drop out to 200 yards. I don't even know, what the overall effectiveness is for 200 yards. But like I said, most of the deer I see are within 150 yards. So if I were to sight it in at 100 yards, probably not going to have a ton of drop, and it'd probably be pretty effective. They do have quite a bullet. As far as I know, the only ammo made is by Alexander Arms, and they do have quite an array of different bullet options for hunting or something like that. I think they go from 200 grains up to 400 grains. So that's something a little different too. But yeah, so that's going to be my next build. I'm going to get kind of cranking on it here soon. You obviously have to start with the lower receiver and kind of go from there. So that is one of the things I definitely want to get working on and be ready for this hunting season in the fall. I'll be sure to post some